Hey folks, if you haven't watched one of these videos before, welcome. I very much appreciate it. I am Johnny Phoenix. I am just a person on the internet who likes to play Magic. I am not a former pro. I wasn't on the SEG tour even. I'm not a full-time Magic content creator. I just like playing Magic, and I know that when I watch, the big names, it gets to be intimidating because they win a lot, and sometimes I kind of feel like shit. So I just wanted to come out and be the guy that gets you into the format, goes 2-3, doesn't put any pressure on you to feel like, oh, it's so easy to win. That's where we're at. So I'm going to dive into some drafts. We're going to, do as best as we can. If I'm playing well, if I make some good picks, you want to come in and big up me in the comments, I'll take that. When I make mistakes or when you would have done things differently, please come let me know. Come let me know how things could have gone better, what plays you would have made, where I'm biffing things, because I want to be learning here with everyone else. With all that said, thank you again for watching the video, and let's get to the draft. All right, folks. I am about to fire up my first Pioneer Masters draft. I've watched a couple videos. I'm really unfamiliar with the set. I'm excited to just dive in. I have no idea how it's going to go. Like I said, I have consumed a little bit of content on the format. I'm going to take a Chandra. This card looks pretty good to me. I mean, it just pressures when you're ahead. It makes tokens. It can come down and just wrath the board. It can draw you cards. It seems very solid. It looks like Jesse and Thief is a pretty good card. Stasis Snare is just, this effect has been around in different iterations forever. I think there are, it seems like from what I've seen, enough enchantments. There are a bunch of enchantment creatures with Bestow, a handful of other things, that Conclave Naturalist is probably a good card. Blue-white is Flyers, as usual, so Crawl Harpooner seems good. Oh boy. Okay, Imposing Sovereign. Creatures your opponents control enter tapped. That seems like an okay card. If you're aggressive, makes it hard for your opponent to play a creature and block. Mentor of the Meek, a classic. 2 power matters, 2 power or less. That doesn't seem like what we'd want to do with Chandra. I want to be, I think, in a more controlling deck. These like removal spells right here look pretty good. This Fell Stinger looks pretty good. So I'm kind of picking between Dreadbore and Ruinous Path. There are, it looks like, a handful of Planeswalkers. I think we're already going to be red. Like, we're already going black-red here. I don't think Boundary Lands Ranger is powerful enough or goes with Chandra well enough to not just take a removal spell. And if I'm taking a black card, like taking the black-red card seems fine to me. Ruinous Path also is pretty good. The Awaken is good. It just makes you like a little a Meteor Golem. 7 mana, make a creature, destroy a creature. Now I'm in a pickle. 8 mana, 8/8 Island Walk. Makes all lands islands. Creatures without flying or Island Walk can't attack. So it makes all your creatures unblockable and makes it so that all their creatures can't attack, potentially. That does seem powerful, but it's a far cry from what we've got going on. Whenever Medomai the Ageless deals combat damage to a player, take an extra turn after this one. It's a 4/4 flyer. It can't attack during the extra turns. I mean, that seems like a powerful card as well. I feel like whatever I'm doing, I'm going to take, like if I take one of these black cards, it's going to be pretty weak. Basilica Screecher. I could just take this Metamai because it's super powerful. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. I could take an Essence Scatter. We ended up on Essence Scatter. In case we end up kind of Grixis. Artisan of Forms. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Artisan of Forms, you may have it become a copy of target creature, except it has this ability. I can take a Devour Flesh here and kind of stay on the Grixis control thing. Kind of just like, there are a lot of parallels, I think, with Foundations. You have like ample fixing in this set. There are rare dual lands. There are common dual lands. You have Pilgrim's Eye here as well. I could take a Pilgrim's Eye and try to be able to play all these cards. I could still be like blue-red splash Dreadbore. I don't really feel like I'm going to get to Storm Chaser Mage, though. I think I am going to take the Pilgrim's Eye. It feels kind of weak. I'm not sure. I'm going to try to just... It's my first draft. I'm going to try to draft a functional deck. We'll see how that goes. Oath of Gideon makes tokens. I feel like maybe white was open here. There is a Consider, which I think is just a solid card. And again, I could be like blue-red splash. I think Oath of Gideon... Well, it's fine. I don't know what shenanigans you could get up to. Making use of the enchantment or blinking the enchantment. Obviously, 2 1/1s for 3 mana is not that great. It doesn't target anything. Discard a card, draw 2 cards. I just might not have a ton of creatures to play to make full use of Witch's Mark. Okay, now I feel like we're going more down the... I think Heliod's Pilgrim seems good to me. 3 mana, put a body into play, search for an aura. The set does have Compulsory Rest, an enchantment, an aura-based removal spell that pairs up perfectly with this. It also has a handful of other... This is like just a hard to cast 2-drop, but against red or green, it's very good. I could also just take an Evolving Wilds. As opposed to Foundations, it does seem like the set has a slightly higher power level. The floor is a little bit higher. So you're not playing cards. You're not playing 2 mana 2/2s quite as often as you might have been in Foundations if you played Foundations. Boy, I'm just really a mess right now. Has First Strike and Trample as long as an instant card and a sorcery card are in your graveyard. We have a Dreadbore, we have a Consider and an Essence Scatter. I just don't really think... I mean, Pulse of Murasa is a card that I think can be decent. But it's just not where I'm at. I think Essence Scatter is just really good. That's been my experience. I could be wrong. It was an uncommon in Foundations. So if you played Foundations, you might not have realized. But just having a cheap play early is good. If I do get... I don't know. It goes nice with Consider. You can hold both up. Hero of Lena Tower is a lot of mana, and again, I'm just not on green. I don't have any gates yet, but I could get there. Yeah, okay, so white definitely was a place to be for sure. Stasis Snare coming around. I think Gust of Wind is good. Anything that says draw a card tends to be quite good. We'll get a little tempo here. We do have a Pilgrim's Eye. Not much else as far as flying creatures. But, you know, hopefully that'll help get us to Chandra. It helps dig for Chandra. Helps keep us safe. Yeah, it was just all white. 2 or more gates, you may draw a card. We really would need to pick up quite a few gates. Search for a basic. This is just such an anemic finisher. It just doesn't... It's undersized for the cost a little bit. It doesn't do anything. I could just take the... That's what I'm going to do. I'll take the gate before the gate payoff. I just don't want another Bloodfire Enforcers, and I really don't want 4-mana 2/2s. I think maybe I'll take a Sin Collector. I just look really blue-red right now. And none of the white cards I saw really were... I can take a Sky Knight and get really mixed up. Or I can take a Guild Gate, which is kind of like 2 off colors for me. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. Well, I'm not going to take the double white card. I'll take Oath. Okay. I think this is really late for Heliod's Pilgrim. I think white is so super open. 2/2 flash can't be countered. Reach protection from blue. I mean, the Gates payoffs all exist. If you played the old Ravnica sets, the Angel, the Gate Colossus, the Ram, the red damage dealing spell, they're all here. When Swift Warkite enters, you may put a creature card with mana value 3 or less from your hand or graveyard onto the battlefield. That's powerful. I could also take a Jawari Disruption, which isn't just a solid... Boy, I could take Philagi Archaeologist. I don't know. I went with the spell land. I think there's value there. Epic Experiment. Exile the top X cards of your library. You may cast instant and sorcery spells with mana value X or less. This is a card that I honestly... I don't know if it's going to be good or not. It seems like a tough sell in Limited to have enough instants and sorceries to make this work. That does seem kind of where we're going. I'm tempted to just kind of take a Gurmag Angler. I have 2 Essence Scatters, a Consider, the Disruption, a Dreadbore, a Gust. Like, I am kind of filling my graveyard with spells. And having 1 Delve card seems good. Yeah, we're just a little bit of a mess right now. Okay, there's some good red cards here. I think Fight with Fire and Wild Slash are both just very good removal spells. Search your library for a Planeswalker card. Combo! This is just so much worse than Balmor was. Like, just this one tiny threat. I mean, we do have the spells going for us, but I'm tempted to take the Gate. There's Wild Slash, there's Fight with Fire, there's Archaeologist that I play, there's Gust of Wind. And I could just fix my mana and hope to get one of these back. I have Essence. I don't have anything really to, except for Gust of Wind, to deal with. Well, I have a Dreadbore. I'm going to take the Gate. Honestly and truly, I don't know what was right there. Each player discards all the cards in their hand, then draws that many cards -1. Okay. Loxodon Smiter, that's a classic. I'm thinking about taking Basilica Screecher. Or I can just take another Guild Gate and try to be able to play the Sin Collector and just whatever cards I find. Okay, let's... Here's another fight with fire. I've got 3 white Guild Gates now and a Heliod's Pilgrim. Next sorcery spell you cast. So at the very worst, this is just a cantrip. I'm going to take the fight with fire here. That seems like the place I want to be. Whenever Windrider Patrol deals combat damage to a player, scry 2. 4/3 flyer for 5. That seems undersized. I don't have any... I don't have the fixing that I want. I want Dimir Guild Gates or Rakdos Guild Gates, blue, black, or red, black. I guess taking another is... I just don't feel like any of these cards are that good. That's the issue. I guess now I'm getting to the point where the gatekeepers are going to reliably draw me a card. Is 4 mana, 2/4 draw card good enough? I could take an Evolving Wilds. Gnarlback Rhino seems like a very cool card. Just, even if they destroy the Rhino, you get the value. We'll try the Gatekeepers and see if we get anywhere with that. Nivix Cyclops. Yeah, this is just for the Prowess deck. For the deck that's casting spells and, you know, the tempo attacking deck. Destroy target non-basic land. Can we be a Bring to Light deck? I think I'm just another Gust of Wind. Just Pilgrim's Eye as far as flyers go? Jeez. I have 4 instants, 4 sorceries. I just don't have any way to use the Philology Archaeologist except just to be a speed bump. But it's a cheap play, and it technically looks like it's going to just say draw a card in my deck. Oh, we're so far off the rails. There's limited returns on Sin Collector, too, because it only hits instants and sorceries. I'm just like blue at this point, splashing every other color but green. I'm going to take a Sky Knight. It gives me another flyer for my Gust of Winds. Target creature you control gets +0/+1 and gains hexproof. You can overload it to protect everything. Dark Deal. I guess Syndicate Messenger just does not seem good enough. Draw 3 cards. You may play an additional land this turn. I just don't have any green. I think I'm just going to take a spell that draws a card. Okay, I think this is just a big creature that's an early land. Burning Anger. This creature deals damage equal to its power to any target. That doesn't seem particularly good in my deck. I could just take an Ultimate Price. I could take another Pilgrim's Eye. I could take a Gate. I just don't have the Gate payoffs either. I have 1 Gatekeeper. Like, I'm strictly using them to fix my mana. I have a Fight with Fire, a Dreadbore, 2 Gusts. Just trying to get to Chandra to win the game. All right, we'll go hard control. Deals 3 damage to target creature an opponent controls. At the beginning of each end step, if a planeswalker entered... Okay, so it's just sorcery speed, deal 3 damage. And then maybe once it will deal 2 more damage to my opponent. I think I'm just going to take another removal spell. Another Guildgate, which I guess I would probably want. Another Quicken. Another removal spell. Another Essence Scatter. Maybe... Do I have enough cards to just... The problem is splashing the black. I just don't have the lands to... I didn't, again, find red-black or blue-black lands. Like, if I get rid of the Sin Collectors, I'm going to take a third Essence Scatter. Okay, Clutch. Extricator of Sin. That's got a lot going on. Silk Wrap is good. But I can kind of actually just cut the white, theoretically. I think I'm going to take Clutch. If you played Foundations, this is just kind of looks a lot like a Big Fin Bouncer. Cost 1 more mana for the big effect, but it also has the flexibility of just being an unsummon, which seems pretty good to me. I would take another... I mean, we're really high on spells now, right? I've got 14 spells to play with. Oh, the Sky Knight probably comes out too. I think I really need the Dimir Guildgate. There's a tiny chance I can get an an archaeologist back. How many Quickens is too many Quickens? Looks like we're going to find out. I guess at this point, a Nivix Cyclops would probably be fine. Anax and Siamede. 3 mana, 3/2, first strike vigilance. Whenever you cast a spell that targets it, it gets +1/+1. I could go back on the Gates plan. I just don't have enough Gates to go back to the Gates plan, I don't think. I said I wanted a shot at another Archaeologist, so I think I'll take it. Shamanic Revelation. Draw a card for each creature you control. You gain 4 life for each creature you control with power 4 or greater. That seems like you got to have a lot of stuff going right for it to work, huh? I think Supernatural Stamina, there's a lot it can do. We're taking the Guildgate, by the way. There's a lot Supernatural Stamina can do in this format, but not really. I mean, Archaeologist. Pilgrim's Eye just doesn't do very much besides fix my mana. It makes my Gust of Winds cheaper, and it's another tiny... I don't really like that. Okay, this is a thing that the Pilgrim's Eye can do. And that I have 2 Archaeologists, 2 Pilgrim's Eyes, and the Butcher can sack itself. That's pretty thin. I'm going to take it because I don't think I really have anything else going on. I'm just going to try to win the game with like a Gurmag Angler, a Chandra, and an Akum Warrior, and maybe a Nivix Cyclops. Another double red card. Yep. I could take the 2 Sky Knights to try to win and just play the Gates, and then maybe the Gatekeeper gets in. I've got 2 Archaeologists already, and, you know, 4 other potential 2-drops. I think I wanted the Sky Knight there. If I had taken the Sky Knight, I'd give strong consideration to playing the white. Having not taken the Sky Knight, I'm pretty sure the white is out. I have 2 considers. I don't think I need that many 1-mana spells. Fight with Fire, Cruelty, Gust of Winds. 12 creatures. Okay, we can work with that, I think. 11 creatures. Maybe I do want the Quickens to just really try and find the Chandra. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7. Okay, it's the black. Eight red. I have all these double red cards, but they're kind of expensive. Pilgrim's Eye. Dreadbore's fine late. Ultimate Price should be fine late. I still have to cut 4 cards. Maybe I've got too much going on with my mana. I cut the Tidebinder Mage. Plus it's not... It's just a 2-mana 2/2 if they're not playing red or green. I do also have Disruption. So I could play 16 plus Disruption and a Coom Warrior. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, the Silumgar Butcher just... 3 Archaeologists, 2 Pilgrim's Eyes. In a pinch, it sacks itself. A Chandra token, potentially. That's tough. One more Quicken, I think. We could also go with the 41 card special. I'm coming. It's one of these. How many spells do I have now? 14 spells. Is that really true? All these Essence Scatters, yeah. Okay, let's do that. Okay. Well, we got a little lost in the sauce, I think. We'll see if we can find Chandra and see how that goes. That was a tough draft. Double tough because I'm not completely familiar with all the cards. It seems like red, white, and green have a pretty strong heroic, like getting effects when you target your own creatures. So they all seem to push towards aggro, it would appear. And I just find that to be a tough, the heroic stuff to be a tough playstyle. Wanting to play combat tricks, things like that. I'm on the draw. I mean, I'm definitely keeping. I've got 3 colors of mana. I can play the tap land turn 1. Or I can hold up Consider turn 1. I've drawn another tap land. And this is my only black source. I think I'm going to play the Guildgate. Although considering and trying to make sure I don't hit a land. I'm going to take 2 and hold up the Essence Scatter. Oligarch's just like pretty darn good against me. Yeah, I could have gotten rid of one of these. I have to get... Now I'm paranoid that I miscounted my lands and I have way too many. I'm going to cast the Consider and try and fix my draws a little bit. It looks like, yeah, they missed a land drop, so I can keep the Essence Scatter around for later. If they're going to let me trade my Archaeologist for a card out of their hand, that seems pretty good to me. Akum Warrior. Yeah, I'm just going to take the action, regardless of what it looks like. They're going to keep testing me. Okay. I have 4 mana. This thing costs 6. I think I'm just going to consider right now and see if I can find some lands. Okay. Sorcery. I guess in the super long game, we can just go 10 to the dome. That would be a fun way to win a game, for sure. This is such a weird game because I'm just like not doing anything and my opponent's been stuck on lands. I really don't want them to have the card draw engine. Disruption still seems good when they're stuck on lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm just going to get the Akum Warrior into play. And then I have Gust. Like, you know, whatever they play, I can Gust away, Disruption it, whatever. That sucks. But there wasn't any... I mean, yeah, that sucks. Did they not... They didn't find a land again. I really don't want to... They sacked that instead of the Oligarch? They're going to... Like, they don't have lands. They don't really have time to be messing around with that, right? I'd like to use my Akum Warrior as a finisher, but I'm going to find the Chandra eventually. Eight cards in hand for my opponent. I really would have liked to have seen this game play out if they had had a different mix. Butler. Okay. Was that a Starfield of Nyx? Interesting. I've seen 0 other enchantments from them. Alright, 6 hits with Pilgrim's Eye, 1 big fight with fire. We're going to take the value. There she is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we could play Chandra and keep up Gust of Wind. I could deal 2 to each creature, but that doesn't seem like a thing like that I want to do. They could get back the Syndicate Messenger or the Fell Stinger with the Butler. They make a flyer and they get to pressure Chandra a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I'm going to keep playing towards the fight with fire. It is awkward that it's face up. But we'll see what they do.
That's it. Payback time.
Okay, they get to draw a bunch of cards. Now bouncing the Stinger is fine, I think. Like, it deals... It's going to deal 2. If I draw a land, they're dead, right? Yeah. I don't have a lot of lands left, I don't think. But you never know. I think I have all my guild gates in play. So it would be an untapped land if I found one. Okay. I think we just cruelty the Soul Flayer. Or I could bounce the Soul Flayer. And keep the instant speed removal up.
Restraint?
Yeah, we have Essence Scatter and Cruelty. They got stuck on lands forever. It's possible that if I was going to do this, I should have just Crueltied when they were tapped out. But the Supernatural Stamina, Obnixilus's Cruelty gets around Supernatural Stamina because it exiles. Linvala the Preserver. If an opponent has more life than you, you gain 5 life. Opponent controls more creatures than you. Okay. Sorry, opponent. I didn't even get to fight with fire them. Okay, we did the exact thing we were trying to do. I'm going to count my lands really quick. I mean, we went through a ton of deck, so it does make sense that we drew 4, 5, 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, Akum Warrior, Jawari Disruption. Okay. I am just a Munson, but my personal opinion is that playing a few of the two-faced land cards, the MDFCs, is a thing you definitely want to do. I mean, there's just a ton of value in that. And I would count them as like half a land each. Because you don't want to count them as full lands, I don't think, because you want to be able to play them as spells. The land is kind of the secondary part. Lets you cheat a little bit. That's my opinion. If you think otherwise, if you just go hard, counting everyone as a full land, 14 lands and three double face cards. We're on the draw again. I think that's fine for us. We have our 3 colors again. We have 2 drops. We have Nivix Cyclops. Could do a thing. Yowzers. That's one thing that we don't have. Like, I saw that one Wild Slash is cheap removal. Like, this Cloudfin potentially could just solo us. I'm going to keep the Essence Scatter up again. And, like, if I Essence Scatter a creature here, it turns off the creature they're playing and the Cloudfin. We're going to do the... the same again. The deeper we get into the game, the better for me. Huh. What is going on? I'm going to play the Archaeologist here, because then I can play a land and keep up the Essence Scatter. Although I should have played the land first, because that's kind of clunky, having them see that. I could have played the land first if they had a flash creature to be able to Essence Scatter it. Yeah, it seems like they were just playing around Essence Scatter the entire time. Three. So it would cost 4 mana. I think I'm gonna play the Cyclops. Keep up the disruption. I mean, they can obviously easily play around it. They've seen it. Exactly. But I'm just in a tough spot right now. Destroy target monocolored creature. This would make a 1/1. And then I would get in for 4. I think that's a thing I want to do. Okay. Four, so this would cost 3. I think I'm going to keep up Disruption and Cruelty and just try and keep making them play weird. Okay. Yeah, I think Cloudfin Raptor is a card that can easily get overlooked, but like I'm going to have to use, potentially, use a removal spell on it. Maybe I should just use the Cruelty now. If I draw the Chandra, it's going to be easier to clean up the Sky Knight. I'm going to take a little more damage. Well, Pilgrim's Eye is pretty good against the Sky Knight. So now I guess it would have been nice if I had... All mountains, huh? It would have been nice if I had just gotten the Raptor when I could. Still 4 cards. I think it's entirely possible that I should have played the Gurmag Angler and just abandoned the disruption, like the value. They still only have 5 lands, so it still could be holding off some of their top end. This is definitely clunky with the Cyclops. But the whole point kind of still is that, yeah, that sucks. Is that we're just playing to the Chandra? I put the Chandra in play, I deal 3 to everything. Attack with the Cyclops. If they have the 1 card that gives +1/+0, that's
So neither do I. I don't believe in
Is this...
overkill.
we'd cast the Quicken. And now we have a 1-mana Gurmag Angler. That was a fortunate draw. We did the combo.
I'm just getting warmed up.
I told you. I said it was going to work. I knew that was going to happen. That's why I put the Butcher in my deck. I'm a genius. Well, we got very lucky, it would appear. A little bit. We had the Chandra in the top half of our deck, so that's where you want to be. Do I have any way to pick anything up? I don't think so. But now we still get to try and make them like I hope they have some 6-drop in their hand they just haven't been able to play. And that it was totally right for me to just hang on to this Jawari Disruption for this long. Treasure Cruise. Okay. It should be pretty hard for him to play another spell this turn. Well, they can play a 3-mana spell or less. A 2-mana spell or less. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting my value. Okay. I feel like we're settling in for a really long one. Those were 2 fun games. We found the Chandra both games. That makes things a lot more fun. We're 1 win away from going 3-3, which I'll be ecstatic about in my first draft of a format I know very little about. I think if you saw some of my early Foundations drafts, Affectionate Indrik was like my pet card there. I think Essence Scatter is just, I don't know. It just feels like good. It's good early. It's good late. We have like some, we have Consider and Quicken to kind of just hold up. We're not a great deck at playing on our opponent's turn, but we've got removal spells, Omnixil's Cruelty. I don't know. We made a game plan, and we drafted to it and we played to it so far. I go first. I do have 3 lands and a Pilgrim's Eye. Like mulliganing with my deck and being on the play puts me down a lot of resources. We are just trading 1 card for 1 card a lot, but it's so dangerous. It's not that dangerous. I do have... I'm going to keep... I'm going to play a mountain on 1 as well, I think, and I'm going to go as greedy as I possibly can. If I draw an island... Not a Cloudfin. Okay, I didn't draw an island. I'm going to play the Akum Warrior here, though, because I have to be able to play the Pilgrim's Eye on 3. They have a Consider or a Quicken? A Consider. Right on time, Dimir Guildgate. I guess that makes it like a little worse, or a little less bad. Not worse. A little better if they Essence Scatter me. It's not as huge a disaster. I could have just played the Guildgate, but then I don't use any of my mana. This still is really clunky, though. Okay, they're like blue-white control. No, they're not. They're just... I guess that's good. That's a 3-drop. So I can use my mana. I can play Island and Consider, or I can get the Guild Gate into play. This was just such a clunky draw. Return target enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. Yep. Playing Deshandra again. I think I'll just take another... Speaking of playing Deshandra. Oh, this is just... If I play the Archaeologist, I can't hold up the Essence Scatter. And I don't think they really want to use Compulsory Rest or Gust of Wind on my Pilgrim's Eye. The Flagi Archaeologist puts the Chandra face up, and I would have to draw an untapped land to play the Chandra next turn. Oh, I should have played the Dimir Guildgate, without a doubt. That was a big mistake. I think I'm going to trade 1 for 3 here. I don't really want to just chump right away with the Pilgrim's Eye. Maybe, I mean, I do have the Silumgar Butcher in my deck. Okay, that's game. Dude, just mill me for 10. Like, that's half my deck. Yep. Big. Oh no, it's only a creature. Okay. Not as punished as I thought. We have 1 Dreadbore, I think. This is something that I find really, really tough, is when to deploy your cards and when to hold up your counter magic. Okay, now they're going to do that, yeah. And there's the Dreadbore and the Chandra. I think we're pretty much dead now. And a Mystic. Well, we'll Essence Scatter it. I mean, they have... we would have loved a Mystic. They have another very good Planeswalker, and Murmuring Mystic, also a sick card that we would have loved.
Don't test me.
5 damage to target creature. Yep. Well, that's that. Okay. Well, I guess we'll we'll see if they see the line. Oh, they did. Bummer. Tough one. Let's keep going. I wonder what the deck would have looked like if we had taken that lastly of Sky Knight and played the white. Ah, that's super ambitious. I'm not sure I could have done anything. I mean, that's definitely a tough situation for my deck to be in. I just don't put any pressure on anyone, like, at all. We're on the draw with 3 colors again. Early interaction. I think I don't know if I got to finish my thought a couple games ago. It doesn't seem like there's as many early interactive spells. There's just Wild Slash. No, I'm gonna... I mean, if I can just control... They have nothing again? I'm not really sure which... I guess I'm going to use all my mana because Fight with Fire and Cruelty are pretty similar cards. This plays around Supernatural Stamina. And then, like, they had 4 mana that turn. They could have 5 mana here, but if they don't have another land, it could mess them up. Or if they just get to 5 and they try to slam a 5-drop, then my Jawari Disruption is awesome. Although I kind of Dreg Mangler. It'd be nice, like I said, I don't play that well on my opponent's turn. I'm still just kind of trading 1 for 1 all the time. I have Fight with Fire and Ultimate Price and Gust of Wind to clean things up. I definitely should just be doing this. And if they play a thing, they play a thing, and then I deal with it after that. Honored Hydra. Okay. Gets +3/+0 until end of turn and can attack as though it didn't have Defender. So I could get in for 7 here if I consider. And then, like, bounce the Hydra and they have to play the Hydra again. One, two, three, 4, 5 lands. I do want another land for Chandra. Can I play a... Oh, I'm not even close to playing a Gurmag Angler. I would have 4 cards in my graveyard. Yep. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. If I play Ultimate Price, can I play... I'll have 4 mana left. 5, 6, 7. Okay, I can play Gurmag. No, I only have 1 black. And Hydra tramples as well? That's tough. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. I'm two mana away from just Fight with Firing them. Huh. I guess if they find a land, they play the Hydra again. Yep. That doesn't do much. I can play the Chandra, make 2 tokens, get in for 3, and then they attack back at the Chandra. If they put the counters on, it's 9. That would hit for 5. That would just be their... It's definitely possible that just playing Gurmag Angler and staying back was better. Oh, me? Okay. Clutch of Currents. I needed you. Yeah, I really wasn't... what? So if they have Supernatural Stamina, it still only deals 4. I guess they're keeping them back. I have 1 mana up? This still deals 4 to the Chandra, right? Yeah.
Get a grip, Chandra.
Oh, I miscounted my lands. Play with fire away the Centaur. Attack with 2 tokens. Can I play Butcher after that? I can. Butcher doesn't really do anything after that, does it? Can't play both, can I? No. I mean, like, I kind of want to make them think that I have something for that would keep up. I don't think I'm actually in very good shape here. Do I have another Gust of Wind? Any other removal spell?
All out of firepower.
That one's not so good. I mean, I have to force the block here because they monstrous this. I could have exploited the Butcher with itself and then attacked and kept the 5/5 instead of the 3/3. Yeah, it's wild that I'm in a decent position to lose this game. That last play didn't matter. Yeah, we lost. That sucks. That really sucks. I mean, I'm sure there's somewhere in there that I could have got 1 damage in or played differently somehow. I'll have to look back at that one. Let me know what I missed, because that was a heartbreaker. Maybe there was somewhere in there when I could have minused the Chandra. I'm not sure. The 3-3 is in danger now. We were 2-0. 2-0 into 0-3. That would not be a pleasant experience. This deck is cool too. Just like really hard control. I think it's decent. We're reasonably able to find the Chandra. We've got a lot of good removal spells. We didn't really... Chandra's like our only card advantage engine, like our only repeatable source of doing stuff. Like, we don't really use the Archaeologists that well. They're just speed bumps. The Butcher. Two tapped lands. And I go first. I just am allergic to mulliganing. I definitely like this. I think I want to... I already have Disruption and Essence Scatter. I could take the ultimate price, or I could just take the Consider to really try and make sure I find a... Because I already have Fight with Fire as well. Yeah. I could play the Disruption as a land, and I could have taken... I can't cast the ultimate price anyway, so... Yowzers. Okay, I'm going to play Disruption as a land. Pass. And then Essence Scatter if I have to, and... Okay. Of all the cards that I could lose to, who knew this one was so good? When it attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Yeah, I don't have a Wild Slash or anything like that. Sacrifice Ordeal of Perforos. Got it. I really need to be able to cast this freaking Dreadbore. Is there a giant growth in the set? Okay, in the end, we got a 2-for-1, right? Like, they dealt 3 damage, but I got their Spider and their Ordeal. We have next turn Pilgrim's Eye plus Dreadbore if we need it, and we're getting close to Chandra. I guess we need it, huh? Essence Scatter. I've not been able to leverage that very well here. Slam the Chandra minus, but then it's just completely open. Deals damage equal to its power, equal to that creature's power to any target. Clutch is a sorcery. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I should be able to do everything. Boy, this is... There have been so many issues with Awaken cards. I really, really needed to not tap my Swamp. I mean, everything's going to be... Okay, everything's going to be... Okay. The PSA there, I don't know if they're going to fix it or not, but for some reason, when you cast Awaken cards, Arena really, really likes to tap the land that you're awakening for some reason. I definitely don't want a minus. They can double block and trade for the Gurmag. And then I just get to play the Chandra, and it's like, I lose the value from the, like, oh, I don't get to play the Chandra, because I don't know how to count. I have Essence Scatter, and I have Chandra next turn. I attacked with my Mountain. These don't have haste or anything, right? So they could deal... Sacrifice another creature. Excuse me.
Well played for the multiverse. Now it's my turn to burn.
They'd have to sacrifice Hero of Lena Tower, and it would only deal 1 damage. Okay. Boy, I was worried about the 3-3 there. We got the 3-3. I'm very happy. If this deck... It would have been a bummer. It would have been a bummer to not at least 3-3, because I think this deck seems pretty good. Just like really fun control deck. It is tough because, you know, we lost to the Honored Hydra in the one game. You know, just like the cards that essentially have 2 cards printed on them. Honored Hydra's just like... 6/6 for 6 and a 6/6 for 4, and that's really tough for our deck to deal with. This set doesn't have... It definitely has more of that than usual, I think. More of that than Foundations had. But it's not like Duskmourn, where half the cards were rooms and just had 2 cards printed on them. 3 colors of mana, cantrip, early play, interaction. On the draw, okay. Do I need... Okay, then I want to play Guildgate, and I'll try and keep the Akum Warrior. So they have a Wild Slash, I think that means, because I believe Wild Slash goes face. I mean, I don't really have much to... We run the risk of them getting ETB value, like playing a creature that has an enters the battlefield effect. I think I want to just take... I could Dreadbore plus Quicken and hold the fight with fire. They don't know about it. I do run the risk of them playing something with more than 5 toughness. But I do have Gust of Wind to get me deeper. Just using this as a cantrip. Just to draw the card, just to cycle. I do have a handful of sorceries that I could have, like, used the Quicken with. I can play the Pilgrim's Eye, or I can hold up the Essence Scatter. I have lands to play, and I don't really think. Boy, now having the Quicken. I don't really think having the Pilgrim's Eye does anything for me. And they haven't played anything, so I'm assuming they're holding, like, the big stuff. And Essence Scatter is going to be fine here. This is, I mentioned it before, this is one of the downsides of the deck, that I can hold up Essence Scatter, but I don't have any other plays, any other instant speed plays. 2 blue, 2 red. Yeah, I'll get a swamp, I guess, just in case. I actually don't have that many black cards left in my deck, but do they have green cards in their deck? Do they have removal spells? I did put them on a Wild Slash. I mean, I'm not gonna play the warrior into a removal spell either. I'll gladly kill them over 20 turns with a Pilgrim's Eye. I've got 21 cards in my deck, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've also got a fight with fire. Are they gonna, like, double fight with fire me or something? Okay. Is that what they're waiting on? You'd figure they would have just, like, double spelled if they were worried about a counter spell. They could have just played 2 spells. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, they have so much mana. First Strike Vigilance. Whenever you cast a spell that targets it, it gets bigger. I can't ultimate price it. I could gust it. Okay. If that was the bait spell, we'll see what else they have. I'm going to consider here. Actually, I just, like, want to hit my lands, honestly. I'll take a Philology, I think, and just see another card. Take a Chandra. You know. I could play Chandra -2, but that seems dangerous. If they have a protection spell. Yeah, I mean, this is tricky if they have a protection. Oh, okay. If they have a protection spell. I don't know. I'm gonna scatter it this time, and we'll see what else they play. Now I have, like, Clutch plus Akum Warrior plus Chandra, and that seems good enough. Ultimate price if they play a monocolored creature here. Hopefully it's not something with Embalm. Hopefully it's not a Manticore. 4, 9. They're on 10. We could get it off the bingo card. Renown. When this creature deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on it and it becomes Renown. Whenever opponent casts a non-creature spell, if Scab Clan Berserker is Renowned, it deals 2 damage. I mean, they still get to... No. Oh, wow. Yeah. Be careful with your Witch's Marks. If you cast Witch's Mark, it says up to 1 target creature. So if you cast it without targeting a creature, you're always just going to get to discard a card and draw a card. But if you target a creature and the creature gets removed in response, like there, you don't get to discard the card and draw the cards either. The whole spell fizzles because you've added a target and it no longer has a target. So just be careful with that. Okay, we even got the bonus. We're on gravy mode now. We're on the gravy train. We got our whole draft back, essentially. 1,400 gems and 3 packs. Really, really cool. I think this deck is really cool. And this format, like I said, I think I've elaborated the issues a number of times. But this was a fun deck. Another long one. And we've run pretty well. I kept some questionable hands and didn't get into trouble. I have, again, the choice of what to do. I'm going to play my Archaeologist on 2 and then play Tapland, Essence Scatter on 3, I think. I mean, I can't put the Chandra in the graveyard, right? I have no other way to get it back, and it's my win con. So we'll put him on the Chandra countdown timer. And they played no 2-drop. That seems good for me. Give me all the time I want. When it enters, create a Thopter. Yeah, that's a good one to Essence Scatter. This is sad. A bunch of sorceries and a planeswalker. Okay. Well, we've got Chandra next turn, and they know it. That might not be what we do if they play stuff. Nessie and Asp. I can just play Chandra and hold back 2 blockers. It doesn't get trample or anything, right? They could have Audacity, which would make it a 6/5 trampler. Chandra just uses my mana so well. It starts the clock. They have, yeah, if they have like Audacity plus removal spell, I could be in trouble. 2 removal spells. Yep. Yeah, if we lose this one, it's on us, you know. I got anxious with the monstrous. I would take 8 and it would use their whole turn. Yeah, I mean, it did make sense for them to not have. Oh, and I'm paying for it again. I used the Dreadbore instead of the Fight with Fire. When you cast a non-creature spell, it does 6 damage to you. Well, this is a real bummer of a way to lose this game, I'll tell you. Okay. That just sucked. Just all misplays on my part. That one was just 1,000% my fault. Oh, that felt terrible. I mean, we could have saw that coming. Like, there were multiple scenarios where that happens. They hadn't played anything. I mean, this was also the quite a good one to punish us, but again, we're golden. We went 4-3. That was a better player than me could have taken that farther, but I had a lot of fun with that one. This was like my first Foundations draft. I got to play Vivian, and we found the Vivian a bunch of times. I played the Vivian a little bit better, I think. Boy, I wanted to hold the Fight with Fire because I was playing the long game, but I guess I should have known better. I don't really know what percentage of the creatures in the format have more than 5 toughness, but we got punished really hard on that one. But yeah, that was fun. This was a really cool deck. Some weird stuff. We were really relying on Chandra to win the game, but yeah, that was a good one. If you liked it, if you watched it, thank you. Hit the buttons down there if you're willing. Tell me what I did wrong. Tell me what I did right. Tell me what you would have done. Would you have just drafted white instead? I don't know. I'll be back for another Pioneer Masters draft pretty soon. Hopefully you'll be there. Be excellent to each other. I'll see you in the next one.